The relationship between religion and conflict is a highly debated topic these days in the media and among policy circles. There has been an assumption, wrong in my reading, that religion should be automatically connected with causing conflict. In fact, by looking at existing academic research and the literature, we can find that there is no direct cause-effect that can be detected when examining the relevance of religion in particular conflict situations. One of the difficulties for trying to understand the relationship between religion and conflict lies with the fact that religion is a complex notion, and there is no agreed understanding or definition of this notion. Religion has been often understood as a set of theological notions and norms that are dictating how people should behave. But there is also another story to tell about religion. Religion can more broadly provide a moral guidance to life. And there is a number of values that are hidden in different religious traditions that are in a way converging with each other. For instance, most religions are concerned with social justice. They are concerned with the dignity of the human being, with the sacredness of human life. Broadly speaking, they are promoting virtues. So there is an argument for saying that religion should become incorporated in the way in which we deal with international relations, in the way in which diplomacy is organized, because religion can provide a moral way to understand global order. The international community has recently begun to engage with religion and with faith-based actors. And there has been a tendency to engage with NGOs and with religious leaders. Religious actors include also non-organized individuals who are acting according to the religious principles even if they do not actively belong or attend to a particular group. More and more we see the emergence of informal movements that are not necessarily affiliated with traditional structures, with traditional institutions, and they are making a change in contemporary affairs. So it is time to consider this wide spectrum of actors and begin to engage with them as well, rather than restricting the interaction with the usual suspects and with people who are in a way in a more powerful position. By incorporating the individual level, we will be able also to include individuals and perspectives of religious people and people who try to live according to a religious tradition, who are not necessarily following in an orthodox way the norms, and who are also trying to challenge the patriarchal views that are often promoted by the leadership community. Involving religious leaders in peace promotions can be positive in the sense that they have established position, they are highly visible, they tend to have strong connections with their community, they have access to religious knowledge and to religious scriptures, and they have an in-depth understanding of the significance of these religious readings, and they also have they tend to be particularly skilled and to be media savvy and also to have a very good communication skills. There's also a downside of involving unreligious actors who are in a leadership position. On the one hand, this can marginalize minority communities of minority faith tradition, and can also ignore the voice of other individuals who may be part of the majority community but who may not have been considered very prominently in the history of that particular tradition. And typically women have been marginalized by all religions because all religions tend to promote patriarchal views. The fact that international norms of human rights, but also of international relations more broadly, are based on a secular understanding of international affairs, means that there is a range of individuals and countries where religion is particularly relevant, that feel disconnected with the current way in which we run international affairs. To incorporate a language of international affairs, of diplomacy, that is more familiar with religious notions, that is more attentive to the characteristics of religious communities around the world, may ease things. So it will not become the solution to conflicts or to situations of tension, but it can ease tensions. Religious actors, and in particular religious leaders, can promote violence in the sense that they can manipulate repertoire, religious repertoires and histories of particular religious communities. Religious repertoires can be powerful to mobilize communities to strengthen particular features of their own identity, and this in turn can help them to stress the markers of a particular ethnic community, which can also enhance the claims to a particular territory and to particular benefits. All conflicts include a number of variables that are involved, include claims to territory, to identity, to economic gains, to access to resources. So a religious logic and the involvement of religious actor is possible, but there is no research to prove that there is a direct relationship between the source of a conflict and the role of religious actors and religious ideas. Broadly speaking, we can say that religious actors should be involved in policy making, and they can contribute something to peace and conflict resolution, because first of all they tend to be very effective, because they are very connected with the communities in which they are based. Also, religious communities work on a voluntary basis. There's a large amount of resources that are available for free, economic resources and human resources that can be deployed very easily and very quickly by religious communities in situations of conflict, in particular when there is a need for an immediate reaction to a crisis. Religious communities can also contribute to a long-term resolution of a conflict because of the scale of time in which religion works. Religions tend to have universal messages that are about eternity, and so they are not concerned with the day-to-day running of a government or the deadlines of a policy that is about to expire. So in that way, in that sense, religious communities and religious groups can provide a more dispassionate contribution to conflict resolution in the long term. However, there is a caveat, because religious actors are not there to replace the role of the international community and of governments in resolving particular conflicts and tensions. Also, the successful involvement and contribution of a particular religious group in a particular situation is no guarantee that this is going to happen again in a different situation, because the outcomes are heavily context dependent and history dependent, and religious actors always work within a web of other variables that have to do with the local situation, and have to do also with the international scenario in which they are working. Most importantly, we should not assume that religious actors are there to replace the international community, and so religious actors should not be overloaded with the task of conflict resolution, because they are there. It is not their task. They're not governments. They are not international organizations. Some religious actors are NGOs, but religious communities per se are not NGOs. So they are not there to replace the role of other bodies and of other strategies in alleviating conflict. The dominant assumption that religion is a factor causing conflict is partly associated to the fact that religion has become marginalized in our Western societies. From the 16th centuries onward, religion has become gradually privatized and has been demonized as being the cause of particular conflicts. So when Western countries are facing the reemergence of faith-based actors in the West, and also they are observing the relevance of the strong relevance of faith-based actors in non-Western parts of the world, many policymakers are unable to respond appropriately, because they are missing both the knowledge and the skills for engaging with these religious actors, and also because conceptually they are unable to appreciate the in-depth relevance of religion to those societies and to those particular communities. The international community is forced to come to terms with the fact that there are particular individuals that are motivated to do what they do in the name of their religion, and there are also people who are arriving into Europe with a different set of values and different set of beliefs. However, religions tend to have some common ground in that they focus on the common good, and they have this eternal perspective in mind, which is not part of, our day-to-day concern, are very trivial, and the policy community is always very concerned with particular goals and targets that have a very short vision. They're short-sighted. So in a way, there is a potential here to involve religious communities and religious ideas to improve the world, to address issues concerning the environment, to address issues of sustainability, and to addressing issues of multiculturalism and coexistence.